The Black Death in medieval cities was a shock that changed Europe forever. By the mid-1300s, Europe held more than 70 million people. Its cities were crowded, loud, and fragile. In this video, I use modern AI tools to bring historic paintings, engravings, and prints to life, allowing us to shift perspective, change camera angles, and move through the same scenes in ways their original artists never could. First, I want to talk about how this disaster arrived at the city gates. This view shows the plague arriving by sea. By the 1347, merchant ships crossed the Mediterranean every day. This view shows a crowded harbor at dawn. In the foreground, sailors haul ropes slick with seawater. In the midground, barrels of grain and cloth wait on the dock. In the background, stone walls rise behind masts and sails. The air smells of salt, tar, and waste. Rats move unseen below deck. Fleas travel with them. Contemporary accounts suggest the disease entered Europe through ports like Messina. Fear spreads faster than news. Ships are turned away, but some dock anyway. Trade mattered more than caution. Within weeks, sickness follows the trade routes inland. Today, these harbors still exist. Tourists walk the same stone edges where the plague first stepped ashore. This view shows the crowded street. By the late 1340s, cities like Florence were packed tight. This view shows a narrow street with tall houses that block the sun. Laundry hangs overhead. In the foreground, vendors shout over one another. In the midground, carts jam the road. The smell of bread mixes with sewage. People cough as they pass. The danger here is density. One sick body brushes another. The disease moves through breath and touch, as people believed. The street mattered because it was the city's bloodstream. When illness filled it, the whole city weakened. Later, reforms widened streets and improved drainage. Today, many medieval lanes remain, now clean and quiet by comparison. This view shows the marketplace. By the 1348, markets still opened despite fear. This view shows a square alive with sound. Bells ring, coins clink. In the foreground, meat lies uncovered. In the midground, buyers argue over prices. In the background, a church tower watches over the scene. Flies gather, so do rumors. People blame poisoned wells and foreign traders. Panic sparks violence. Markets mattered because food kept cities alive. Closing them meant hunger. Keeping them open meant death. After the plague, market rules tightened, inspections increased. Today, many of these squares host cafes and festivals, far removed from their darkest days. This view shows the physician. By the mid-1300s, medicine had limits. This view shows a doctor approaching a patient. In the foreground, he wears a long robe. In later images, a beaked mask appears, filled with herbs. In the midground, family members step back in fear. The smell of smoke and sweat. Treatments include bloodletting and prayer. None work. The tension lies in helpless authority. People expect cures. Physicians cannot provide them. Still, they matter because they represent order. After the plague, medical thinking slowly changes. Observation gains value. Today, these images remind us how knowledge grows through failure. This view shows the churchyard. By the 1399, death overwhelms ritual. This view shows a burial ground at the city edge. In the foreground, open pits wait. In the midground, carts dump bodies wrapped in cloth. Bells toll without pause. The smell is heavy and sweet. Gravediggers work fast. The danger is despair. Faith strains under the scale of loss. The church mattered because it offered meaning. When priests died too, confidence cracked. Records suggest mass graves became common. Today, many churchyards hide layers of this past beneath grass and stone. This view shows the ruler's city. By the height of the plague, leaders struggled to respond. This view shows a palace overlooking empty streets. In places like Avignon, Pope Clement VI ordered processions and prayers. Fires burned to cleanse the air. The foreground shows guards blocking entry. The midground is silent. Authority feels distant. The danger is loss of control. Cities mattered because they were seats of power. When rulers fled, trust collapsed. Later, governments invested in public health. Today, these centers still symbolize authority, shaped by lessons learned in crisis. This view shows quarantine. By the late 1300s, some cities act differently. This view shows an island or outer district cut off from the port. Guards stand watch. In the background, ships wait at anchor. Venice develops isolation rules, later called quarantine. The air feels tense and still. The danger is economic loss. Trade pauses. Yet this matters because it works. Disease spread slows. This change marks a turning point. Today, quarantine is a familiar tool, born from these experiments. This view shows the poor quarter. By the 1350, inequality sharpens the toll. This view shows cramped housing near the walls. In the foreground, children fetch water. In the midground, the sick lie unattended. Food is scarce. The smell of refuse fills the air. The danger is neglect. The poor die in greater numbers. These areas mattered because they supplied labor. After the plague, labor shortages empower survivors. Wages rise. Social structures shift. Today, traces of these quarters survive in old neighborhoods. This view shows abandonment. By the end of the outbreak, entire streets stand empty. This view shows doors ajar and shops closed. Weeds push through stone. Silence replaces noise. The danger has passed, but loss remains. Cities mattered because they gathered life. Now they feel hollow. Over decades, people return. Buildings are repaired. Some areas never recover. Today, archaeology reveals layers of sudden stop and slow return. This view shows memory. By later centuries, the Black Death becomes a reference point. This view shows an artist depicting death as a figure among the living. The past feels close. These images warn and teach. They matter because memory shapes response. Today, museums and streets carry these echoes. Walking through medieval cities, you stand where millions once stood, fearing the same air. The Black Death in medieval cities feels distant, yet it remains near. With AI reconstruction, these frozen scenes move again. Streets fill, bells ring, ships arrive. If there is another city, moment, or scene you would like to see reconstructed, let me know in the comments. Again, thank you so much.